KBOB, Tulsa.
Yeah.
Black on Black Community Radio. Streaming at KBOB899.com.
Welcome to the show that talks about Tulsa. People making a difference in the Tulsa community. Special guest interviews spotlighting local businesses to covering important issues within the community no one else is talking about. The hot topics and more. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use with your hosts, Mr. Charles Harper and Miss Damali Wilson.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to World One Development's News You Can Use. We want to thank everyone for either listening on the radio, watching us on Facebook Live, and on www.kbob899.com, or tuning in to any of the News You Can Use media network which are powered by World One Development. We really appreciate that. I am your hostess with the mostest, Miss Damali Wilson.
And I'm Charles Harper. It's Wednesday, a.k.a. Hump Day, May 11th, 2022. And we are live every Wednesday at 1 p.m. right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use media networks powered by World One Development. We are set for an exciting show, you guys. You better call your mama and tell them. You can call in at 918-856-3873 or post your comments on our Facebook Live feed at World One Development.
So today, you guys know what day it is. On today's show, it's the medical report with Dr. Andre Perdue.
Absolutely. We'll also talk about mental health and how it affects marginalized communities.
And of course, our Hump Day hot topics, which are the Evans Spin Tube developer has been chosen, you guys. Find out who the city selected. The Manhunt in Alabama is over. And the Double Up Oklahoma programs happening right here in Tulsa. Find out what it is.
Birthdays and more. This is News You Can Use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM. And on News You Can Use media, brand new table. Damali, you know what? We're going to get to this. We're at a brand new show. And I got to figure out how to go between JB hand signals and you.
I know, you got in the middle, right?
And up in the corner. Guys, for everybody listening in, I just want to say welcome to the show. This is our first show in our new location.
Yes.
So, of course, we're going to get all the bugs and the technical difficulties and all that fun stuff. You know when you move into a new house, Damali?
Yeah.
You know, you got to go around the house.
It's a nightmare in the beginning.
You got to figure out how to wash and dry is working.
Exactly. What light switch works what?
You figure out, you know what I mean? Depending on what level.
Exactly.
You know, some houses you can clap twice and the lights come on and go out. Others, you got all these switches. So... And then you slide, you do the electric slide and other
slide
things.
To the right.
Yeah, then slide to the left. Then crisscross and all of that fun stuff.
Okay.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Good.
Sorry, this is our first day here, so you know it's new to all of us.
Yeah. So for those of you guys who don't know, if you watched the show last week, you know it was the best of.
It was best of.
And we did the best of the police report because we were not in studio because this big move took place and there was a lot of stuff going on. So we were not actually in our new location. So today we're all like discombobulated.
I'm not discombobulated.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm discombobulated.
I got a motto. You know what my motto is, JB and Damali?
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Stay ready. So you don't have to get ready.
Yeah,
I got a motto.
It says all the time. What's your motto?
It's called I'm adjusting.
You're adjusting. Just adjust.
I'm adjusting. Okay, so shout out to Rodney Rule and Glory out there. They said they're listening in too.
Oh, that's what's up. Hey, fam.
Yeah, and Rodney just called me. I'm like, Tisdale, now you know.
They doggone
live.
Right.
I'm live at 1. You don't call me at 1:15. Say, let me check out Brother Charles studios on the video. Don't do me.
Okay, they say we sounding good now.
We sounding good.
Yeah, now.
Y'all
all right.
We got the bugs.
I was about to say microphone check. Microphone check. And you know what? One, shout out to KBOB.
Yeah.
You know, we are here at our new location off Lansing. Mm-hmm. You know, you come up to Max Wings now. I know y'all get hungry when I say Max Wings, but you got to keep going.
Yes.
Go down a little further. Is it 12?
Rodney said, he said, my bad for bothering you.
It's all good. It's all love, man.
14.
Huh?
He's so excited.
Let's see.
He's so excited for you.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm so excited for him, man, because the radio was going off today.
12-16.
12-16. North Lansing is
Sweet. We have a sweet D.
You ain't came up till you have a sweet.
Don't be pulling up and you ain't supposed to be here.
You can't just roll up on us, Triple OG style. This is nice. I need to give a shout out to Bobby,
yes.
The visionary of this, to being able to upgrade like this, because a lot of times you get stuck in one spot and you never upgrade, but the upgrade is real.
Yeah.
It's professional. It's nice. For everybody that has given or donated, hey, this is the results of that.
Yes.
And, we got an exciting show today, tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Always exciting. It's always
I
exciting.
knew he was going to a new spot. I said, I never want to call him for the first show. It was a setup. It was a setup from the beginning. You know what I mean? Because sometimes people just function on a level. They come from an area where adjusting is necessary.
Absolutely.
So I felt like this would be a walk in the park. You know what I'm saying?
Very fitting.
So with that being said, we're going to jump right into what we normally do, right?
Okay, so News You Can Use is all about shedding some light on the positive happenings in our community. There are many great businesses, programs, and events occurring in our neighborhood. And this month, man, we got the events for you. I'm just going to let you know. And we felt the community needed to hear about those things, one, so we can support, and two, so we can be informed.
I'm Charles Harper, Executive Director of World One Development, which includes fitting back in EduRec Youth and Family Fund Center, 36th Street North Event Center, and Oklahoma Community Support Coalition. My job, because the world wants to know, is financial stability and infrastructure for all of our community development projects. And I am so excited and I am so elated to be one of the people in this phenomenal new room.
New space, right?
A new space.
So I'm Damali Wilson, Executive Director of Operations for World One Development. And my job is creating, monitoring, and enforcing protocol for each of our community development projects. I am also in charge of social media for all of the World One Development entities. If you would like to advertise your business or organization on this show or any of our other individual platforms, they be freaking me out over here, inbox me your contact information on Facebook Messenger so we can talk. I am also happy and elated to be one of the creators of this show. What's going on?
But you know what I love about our listeners?
What's that?
That they roll with us because they know that it is a family affair. We have still about 100 secret listeners.
We see y'all.
They're going to a new location. They probably thought we went on the ground. You know what I mean? They setting up this ship to go to the moon.
Right.
They're like, they got Dr. Fergie on the team. Oh, they got some kind of hookup and get to the moon and redoing their body. They're going to live 200 years. You know what they up to.
Yeah.
But no, we over here at the spot and we getting ready to have a good time. Kick off this first show. I'm excited about it because it's always good to say great things are happening in North Tulsa. Right, Damali?
Yes.
I have to get Damali focused. She's the type of person that she watches everything.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why I got static in my. Oh,
Yeah,
keep
we'll
this
let
keep
them
on.
know
Okay,
that.
well let's
Keep
just go. We're
going.
gonna keep on rolling then. All right. So it's up to you now.
But first and foremost, like we always do, we would like to thank and appreciate our first responders, healthcare professionals, food providers, restaurant workers, and essential workers for their services on the front lines during this time. It's great how churches and organizations in the community are coming together during this time, during this coronavirus epidemic. Damali,
Yes.
is it still an epidemic? Are we still?
You know what? There's still stuff going on, even though everybody acting like it ain't nothing happening.
I'm glad we
There's
got.
something happening.
I'm glad we're doing a medical report today because
Absolutely.
it's kind of like. For me, I'm food, but when I seen Dr. Fergie, he still had on 2 masks. I said, they're our first responders, and that's why we always give a shout out.
I was in a meeting today and yesterday downtown. I'm not going to say where I was, but I was in a meeting, and I was really the only one with my mask on. And I'm like, I don't care. Y'all can look at me crazy if you want to. It don't matter to me. But been there, done that, and ain't going back again.
I know.
Yeah, so, people just don't think it is. But, y'all just be safe. Just make sure that you're safe. I can't tell you what to do or how to do it, but I just know what I'm going to do for myself.
But one thing I do know, Damali, it's hot outside today.
Yeah.
It does feel good. I feel like it's too hot for COVID to be out there. What about you?
You know what? I agree. Like, COVID need to go and sit down somewhere and be fanning itself.
I thought I saw COVID at Tulsa International Airport, and it had on a shirt that said, I want to get away. That's what I thought I seen yesterday. COVID-19 had a shirt and a hat on.
Right.
He said it's want to get away. So I don't know. But anyway, we're just having fun. But one thing we will say, we want people to still still be careful out there.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Still protect yourself, cover yourself. Because what we don't want to do is something be going on and you didn't know about it because you put your guard down and now
That's right.
it's up on you and you're in the hospital or something like that. And we don't want that as you listen to this nice, echoish voice that I have. And I appreciate it.
And, there's still variants out there, but we'll get into that with Dr. Purdue here in a little bit. But before we get started, we want to send a huge congratulations to all of the 2022 graduates.
Yes.
We're so excited for all of you guys. And, and I want to share this too. There are a lot of stars who are actually graduating, right, from college.
Right.
So this is... in the house phone. It cracks me up every time they remind me.
People, look, when they call me and Damali, it don't matter how stuff is. They just go like, hey, y'all just make it work. And whatever else going on, y'all just stay there. You know what I'm talking about? Exactly. Waterfalls going, dogs barking outside. There's
all kind of stuff. I know.
We ain't going out like that.
No. But there are a lot of stars who are actually graduating. And I just wanted to give you, I was just reading through some, stuff getting ready for the show and saw these and just thought that they were worth noting, right? So Anthony Anderson, he actually graduated from Howard University. He's been getting his degree, he said, for 30 years. He said this has been 30 years in the making. He said he actually took a break and hiatus to focus on his career. And then now he's in a good place. So he went back to school and he actually got his degree from Howard. So congratulations to him. Ludacris just received...
No. Did you say it took him 30 years to graduate?
He said it was 30 years in the making.
And I love, in the making,
love
Anthony Anderson. Man.
Yes.
He has transformed over the years. Howard University.
Yes, that's a big deal.
Congratulations.
Big deal.
Yes.
Also, Ludacris just received an honorary bachelor's degree from Georgia State University.
Did you say honorary?
Honorary, right. Angela Bassett received an honorary degree from Old Dominion University.
Congratulations.
And Taraji P. Henson received an honorary doctorate from Howard University. And then I also wanted to give a special congratulations to all of the individuals who actually completed the Standpipe Hill Home Buyers class.
Yes.
That just took place this past Saturday.
Right.
Owning a piece of land is a big deal.
Right.
And we talk about that a lot right here on our show. State Representative Regina Goodwin was actually on hand to congratulate and encourage all of those participants in that class. And if you did not see the video coverage, go back and look at that. Yes. She had some really profound things to say and some advice to offer all of those participants. So shout out to all of the graduates. I have a cousin that's graduating, a nephew that's graduating. Our good friend Kareem just graduated from TU.
And he's the president of the student body.
Yes, congratulations.
And brother, I recorded your whole little speech.
Yes.
President. So let's talk about it. My Cash App is $. No, I'm just playing with you. I'm not going to do you like that. Let me shout out some of our secret listeners. Welcome to the show. Miss Teresa Griffin is on. We got AJ down there in Jacksonville, Arkansas, on the J-Bone.
Hey, AJ.
We got Polo Powell down there in St. Louis. He's tuning in. We got Mr. Gary Barnett from the ATL. And we got a lot more. I got to figure out how to get to them. But welcome to the show.
Cousin April is on. She says, hey, Charles, Damali, and JB.
What's going on? I don't even have them on mine yet.
Harmony Shaw is on. We have Stacey Nichols. Nicholson. Yes, she's on. Who else is on? Phil Tatris is on.
Phil is in the building.
Mario is on.
Down there in Texas.
Yes.
Oh, but I know why they're here.
Why they here?
I know exactly why they're here.
Why?
Because they know about the show today. I just had to say
I thought I was going to say something else profound.
I don't know if our producer...
Everybody know about the show today.
I know. I wonder if our producer ready to drop it. I don't even know.
Nope, not ready.
Hey,
Mama just joined. Hey, Mama. Yeah.
Let's get to it, Damali. It's on me and you. You know how it goes. It's in no sauce. It's on you and I.
Yeah.
So what we're going to get to is today is going to be a very important day because we got our friend, our partner, our community engager, has decided to roll with us into 2022, and we appreciate that because, of course, we know he's a very, very busy individual. Love what he does every day to save people's lives, but we have him live in studio today with the medical report, none other than Dr. Andre Purdue. He's here.
Yes.
Come on, family.
Yes. Hey. How are you? We missed you.
I know. I had an emergency case last month, so I was not able to be here. My heart wanted to be here, but I had to take care of some business.
I know, and we gave you a pass, so don't even worry about it. We gave you a pass. It's like, you got to take care of the people. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do.
I know, but you know what? We did miss you.
Yes,
not
we did.
here. They gave me an honorary.
Dr. Purdue, save me.
They gave me an honorary white coat, and allowed me to do my limited edition
right
of you. But it was well received. But nevertheless,
yes,
you know, it worked out. We got by. We
did get by.
Yeah,
we made it.
So last month was the unofficial medical report. Today is the official. Dr. Purdue, first and foremost, how are you, the family, and all of that? How are things in your world first?
Everything is fantastic in my world. My beautiful bride of 26 and a half years. I want to tell her how much I love her, and she's my air and my earth.
Yes.
I've got an 18-year-old son who's graduating from high school, so I'm excited.
All right, another graduate. Yes.
My daughter, looks like my son and daughter may be going to the same school, God willing, and so we'll be close at the University of Central Oklahoma. So
okay.
And I got a 13-year-old who thinks that he's running the world. So,
of course.
So it's all good.
Of course. 13, magic age.
Yes, he is in charge. He thinks he's in charge.
Right.
There you go. And Miss Jolie said that I held it down last month.
Yeah. She did. She encouraged him.
Y'all received that. Just receive it.
I'm gonna bring you in your short white coat. You're not gonna have a long white coat. I'm gonna bring you in a short.
You gotta wait.
Yeah, right.
Work a little while. Yeah. Okay. That's funny.
So Damali, today, well, happy to be back in here. Happy to be here at KBOB.
Yes.
Streaming NYC streaming all over the world. So it's a lot of people excited about this. Give these people the news they can use. You know what I'm talking about? So
last week, Dr. Purdue, we actually had a lot of information, and we wanted to talk a little bit more about hypertension, because that seems to plague our community, and it is like the thorn in our side.
Yes, it is.
And so we want to talk about that a little bit, and then maybe the second half we can talk about a little bit about mental health. Absolutely. Because I am seeing a lot of that in the news stories that I'm combing through. So first of all, I read something that said that the World Health Organization is saying that hypertension is the major cause of premature death in adults. What do you think about that?
Well, starting in the Black community,
yes,
and that's where my heart is, being an African American. You're looking at a large percentage of our population has hypertension or high blood pressure. And what hypertension does is it puts a greater workload on your heart, and your heart is a major pump to your body.
Sure.
And that means that every organ downstream from your heart is going to suffer the ramifications of your heart working so hard. One of the challenges that we have as a people, unfortunately, is that since we're not regularly going to doctor's appointments as others may, some are. What ends up happening is that there's a reason why hypertension is called the silent killer. It's the fact that there are a lot of people. There are hundreds of thousands to millions of people that are walking around with blood pressures of 180 over 110, 200 over 100, and they don't know until their heart more or less is no longer able to deal with that workload, and that's when they have a heart attack, or that's when they have a stroke, or that's when they have kidney failure.
Right.
So the biggest challenge in our world is the fact, or one of the biggest challenges is the fact that our stressors are different than stressors from other nationalities.
Sure.
And so that, and you want to talk about mental health, your mental health plays a role also in your physical health. So if you're dealing with the stressors, and you're dealing with your depression, and you're dealing with a variety of other types of issues, whether it be social issues or physical issues or spiritual issues, you'll carry that. And as you carry that, there's a greater preponderance of hypertension that goes along with that.
So what do you say to people who, I hear a lot of African Americans, because I'm mostly around African Americans, but when they are being prescribed medications to help regulate this high blood pressure, and they're like, I'm sick of taking pills. I don't want to take that. What do you say to that? Because, a lot of times what I hear is that people are like, it's going to have some kind of ramifications for me years down the road, so I don't want to take it now, and then end up having, but then what's the alternative?
Well, some of that is faulty thinking.
Gotcha.
Okay? Right. And you know what? Let me just say, my people, I'm speak the truth now. there are ways to manage hypertension. I agree with the idea that, if you're going to put someone on a medication, let's try to maximize that medication, minimize their side effects before you add another medication. Right. Sometimes what happens is you'll have people that are on 3 different medications at a very low dose. And it's like, okay, well, I've got to take 6 pills a day as opposed to me taking 2 pills a day at a higher dose. So again, some of that has to be the dialogue you're having with your physician. And I've said this on the show before, that it is very important for individuals to know that the relationship that patients and physicians had 30 years ago is very different now.
Sure.
30 years ago, you walk in the doctor's office and the doctor, told you what you were going to do, and you either did it or you didn't do it. Right. Mm-hmm. That is a different relationship now from the standpoint that you should have dialogue with your physician. Right. There are certain medications in men, such as beta blockers, where it will affect their libido. Well, I don't know too many men who want to have their libido affected and have their blood pressure under control. So
I'm not signing up for that. I'm not signing up for that.
Listen, I ain't mad at you on that one.
Right.
But again, that's where the dialogue comes in. And sometimes it's trial and error. Right. This notion that, okay, well, doctor, you're going to give me something, I'm going to take it, and it's going to work fantastic the first time. Everyone's body chemistry is a little bit different, whether you're African American or whether you're Asian American or whether you're Caucasian. Sure. How your body chemistry is going to be affected by a medication may be different. So sometimes it's a matter that you have to try a different medication. And it's not a matter that, okay, well, this failed. Well, it may not work for you, but let's try to find the best medication for you. But that's where the dialogue comes in. That's also where you understanding your own risk factors. Sure. If you're morbidly obese, and you have hypertension and diabetes, you don't need to be going to, get a Sunday for lunch. Okay? We have to take some ownership of our medical conditions and take some ownership of the education that goes along with our medical conditions and try to put ourselves in the best possible standing and be as healthy as we can.
Hey, let me do this because I know we got a couple questions from our listeners, and I appreciate that. Thanks for so many people tuning in. When you were speaking about people walking around with that blood pressure so high, it makes me think about just growing up. And you had your grandparents and uncles, and they walk a little bit, get tired, they be sweating, they got to stop and let them rest every little bit. And a lot of times you uneducated, but those to me are like signs that something is going on that was more. Yeah. But sometimes when you maybe don't have money and that kind of stuff, you just kind of go along and you look up and you find uncle dead in the back, find grandma dead in the shower. Because those were the signs that you couldn't walk from here to that door. Right. Those were the signs of you just sweating and shortness of breath and all of that. So I'm just happy we are at a time where we can get at a table. Right. Because sometimes people prefer to listen to somebody that look like them. Mm-hmm. But I'm just happy we're having these conversations because what I'm describing still goes on today. Absolutely. Right. With grandma, grandpa, and parents and everything.
Absolutely.
So I see that AJ has a question. He says, what are some of the natural foods we can eat along with hypertension medications to keep hypertension down? And is hypertension, high blood pressure hereditary?
Yes, it can be. It can be hereditary. One of the easiest things for us to do is to stay physically active and also to eat fresh fruits and vegetables, hydrate well with water, with drinks that are low in sugar. I've talked about this numerous times before. Moderation is important. You know what? Listen, very few people enjoy fried catfish as much as I do. My wife will probably prefer that. Right. But I know good and well I can't have fried catfish every day. Correct. And so that may be a matter. Well, I'm not mad at you. I love fried catfish too, but I know that I can't have it every day. I can't have it 3 times a week. Right. So what you need to do is that, hey, if that's going to be my cheat day or my cheat meal, okay, well then let's do some things ahead of time to make sure that we try to be in the best standing we possibly can beforehand.
Sure. So you have your wife, she knows what to do and what to say. So Joey says, also, diet plays a role. We don't always eat the best, and unfortunately, the best foods aren't always available to us either. Right. So basically, about what you're talking about, that it's not available in our communities, are in communities of color. Correct. Just like the situation where we're in, we just now got a grocery store after 14 years of not having a grocery store where we can get fresh fruits and vegetables. Yeah. But there's still things that we can do, still like starting a community garden, it's something that you can do. That way you're getting exercise, you're getting sun, and you're getting, great food, straight out of the ground, right?
Right.
Yeah. So that, something else that we can do. I read a stat here that says that just what you were talking about, that less than half of the adults who have hypertension are diagnosed and or treated.
Wow. That's big.
Yeah.
This is huge. It's huge. That's one of the challenges, and I'm going to give a shout out to Oasis and the AJ. Mm-hmm. When you have a community that does not have the resources for the optimization of their own health,
sure.
Right.
What ends up happening is if you look in North Tulsa versus South Tulsa, there's probably a 10 to 15 year difference in mortality, mm-hmm. age of mortality.
Sure. Right.
And that is a product of stress. That's mm-hmm. a product of lack of resources, and that's a product of lack of access. And so that's why I think it's incredibly important that we, as a community in North Tulsa, along with allies from other areas, are making sure that we're pouring resources into our own community to make sure that the benefit really comes for our children and grandchildren down the road, that when you look at 20 years from now, maybe the average mortality rate may be very equal because we now have 15 grocery stores in North Tulsa.
Correct.
Or we actually have 3 or 4 community gardens.
Right.
Okay. So, this is an important time, and I know we've had other conversations offline as well as online about, how important this time is. But, health is not a vacuum. Mm-hmm. Okay. So health is predicated on resources and predicated on access. And we need to be more in tune with that.
Yes.
Man, that's amazing. Got a couple more people I want to shout out. We got Mr. KJ.
Hey, KJ.
Kevon Anderson. He tuned in from the Twin City. KJ, hey, guys. This is for you. Mm-hmm. Ask your questions while we got the doctor in the house, Mr. Michael Brewer Sr.
Hey,
He's tuning
Michael.
in with us as well. Good to having him. Dr. Furby, talk a little bit about physical activity, movement, because sometimes just a little bit of movement can help you. How important is physical activity?
It is incredibly important. And you know what? It's one of those things that we don't all have to start training for a marathon.
Thank God.
It can be a matter of, if you work in a building that has steps, it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to go up the steps, and then I'm going to come down on an elevator. Now, if you've got to go up 10 flights of steps, then you know what? You might need to peter out on the 5th floor. You didn't take the elevator.
Right.
But constant activity. My wife will gladly say that, you know what? I'm not as active as I need to be. Uh-huh. But we can all be better.
Sure.
And you know what? Make that part of your regiment. You know what? If that means park your car on the other end of the parking lot to go to the grocery store and walk yourself in, get your steps in.
Yes.
I love where you was going with that, but I hear the music. That means you got to take a little quick break. When we get back, I want to give people a few more tips.
Absolutely.
Life we trying to live around here, right. But also mental health. What is going on? I saw a cheerleader. She just drove into a river. Mm-hmm. And people jumping off bridges, jumping into oncoming traffic. It's all kind of stuff going on with people's mental health, and our job is to bring you some news you can use. So we're going to get to that next. Stay locked in. This is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Networks, powered by JB Smooth. We'll be right back.
Get ready for a night of R&B. Friday, June 3rd, the 36th Street North Event Center presents Surface.
Hey, Tulsa. My name is David Pitt Conley, and I'm John Fever. We are Surface. 2 shows we're going to be doing, 1 at 5 and 1 at 8. The R&B Live Series.
One night only at 36th Street North Event Center. Also performing live, the national recording artist and legendary R&B caller, Glenn Jones. I've been searching for so long. Glenn Jones live. We just begun. The romance is not over. We got a lot. Friday, June 3rd. One night, 2 shows. 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. Wait, it gets better. Also performing live. B-Rush. VIP, Ultra VIP, and tables are available. Get yours now online at 36th Events. Eventbrite.com.
The 36th Street North Event Center is a full-scale event center where we share the experiences of the community. At the event center, you can rent space for weddings, birthday parties, receptions, concerts, Greek events, quinceañeras, and much more. We also do custom decor, linen, and centerpieces. We're located at 1125 East 36th Street North. To book your next special event, business gathering, or community event, call us at 918-200-9046.
is a reintegration program designed to help those released from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m.
EduRec is a youth and family fun center located at 5424 North Madison Avenue in Tulsa, Oklahoma. At EduRec, we offer a host of activities for children and families of the Tulsa community at little to no cost. To find out about the many programs, activities, and services offered at EduRec, please visit our website, www.edurectulsa.com, or just give us a call at 918-430-3947.
The city is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use Media Networks, powered by World One Development. And we are back in our new studio. Damali, we up in here. We in the spot. This is
Not an Oasis spot.
not the Oasis spot, because they was running over here. If we calling this the spot,
Right.
This is another spot.
Another spot.
Another spot to be on too. Yeah, segment Ray was heavyweight, talking about hypertension, talking about things you need to be aware of, things you need to do, getting yourself checked out, balancing out that medication and all of that. But Molly, I was thinking, let's get into a little bit of what people can do that has to sit at a desk all day. Some of those things that you can still do to keep that blood circulating, to keep that heart pumping right and all of that. Dr. Fairdo is warming up outside.
Yes, indeed.
You know, when they warm up, people want to go out there and cut their yard. They ain't drink no water in 2 days. And, you know, we're just getting down to some real stuff.
Right.
So we'll start with the office space. What are some of the specific things people can do if they do happen to work at a desk all day?
Well, there's a lot of different things you can do. I think that it's easy to come up with a plan where, you know, if you're going to be sitting at your desk, you know you're going to be sitting at your desk for an hour. Okay. Mm-hmm. And studies have shown that it's very hard for anybody to do any type of work for an hour straight. Right. For you to be able to maximize your degree of concentration and focus. So, you know, maybe every 15 to 20 minutes, get up and do some type of activity, whether it's walking around your desk, whether it's maybe doing some modified squat type of maneuvers, whether it's just getting up and stretching. Okay. Meditation and yoga and activities like that to really kind of clear your mind are great for mental acuity. Right. But it helps from an endorphin standpoint in the brain. The brain works better when you have your endorphins. Those are kind of the positive neurotransmitters in your brain. So again, we don't have to necessarily start worrying about training for the Tulsa Marathon. What we can do is we can stay in motion. Just remember that the body is made up of 70% water. So water, when it stagnates, becomes contaminated. So water needs movement. Body needs movement.
So you said the body makes up 70% of water. So let's say now I got me a little regimen. First 15 minutes, I'm good for about 25 push-ups. So I'm going to knock me out 25 push-ups. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm swollen in the chest area, Damali. Don't hate on me. And then the next 15 minutes, I'm going to try me a few squats. Next 15, I'm going to do some calf raises, do some little lunges. But how do you need to deal with that 70% of your body being made up of water? What kind of water intake do you need to have during the day?
Well, particularly when it's warm, if you can drink between 48 and 64 ounces of water a day, that's going to help you to stay replenished. And the amount of water that we lose, called insensible fluids, from our mouth. When we're speaking, you know, we're constantly, there's vapors that are coming from our mouth. You know, when we blow our nose, you know, as we sweat, we're constantly, you know, losing small degrees of water in our body. But at the same time, if you're doing that throughout the day, you can become dehydrated quite easily. Sure. It may sound gross, and I apologize for this, but you can tell how hydrated you are by looking at your urine. Right? When you look at your urine and it's not smelling, it smells foul, as well as it's very concentrated, very dark and yellow, you're dehydrated. Right. Wow. That should be an immediate sign that, okay, well, you know what, it's I'm not advocating drinking water at 10 o'clock at night because you might be getting up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and nobody wants to do that. But you know what? But when you go to the bathroom and you see that your urine is dark, that's a great opportunity for you to drink a glass or two of water, and then you try to follow that up with making sure that you're keeping tabs of what your fluid content is.
Man, that's why you have to tune in to new people. You just said, so when you getting up, going to use the bathroom, and then your nose say, back up, and jump. No, I might not say all that. But anyway, if you smell something or the color is too dark, right there, go drink some water. You don't have to call the doctor. You don't have to get Dr. Ferdy back on the show. You can go grab your glass of water and drink that. Because I think you can immediately start helping with that when that happens.
You can.
And I think a good practice too, and I was told by a medical professional, was that when you go to the restroom, then you're losing that water. That's the perfect opportunity for you to replenish the water that you just lost.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I think that this is all great information for us to have. But let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about mental health.
Man.
And the reason I've been really disturbed lately because I have been hearing about these young athletes who are actually taking their own lives. And I feel so bad for the parents of these athletes, but I also feel bad for the fact that these young individuals who really never gave themselves time to bloom were tormented to the point that they felt like they needed to take their own lives. Charles mentioned the one young lady who actually was a student over at Southern University.
And looked great on paper.
Yes.
Looked great on social media.
19 years old. She's a cheerleader. She is at the top of her class, just looked wonderful, like you say, on paper. But, just totally tormented and had actually, put up an Instagram post talking about her death and her history. She actually had recounted her history of suicidal thoughts. Just her struggles with school and COVID. She tore her ACL, and for some of these athletes, sports is everything, so to go through all of that at the same time, I'm sure was catastrophic, and it was catastrophic enough for her to take her own life.
I'll add this because it just make it real life. Like my daughter just got home from school a couple of weeks ago. Right. I had to go pick her from us. She did good. Shout out. She showed me her little 3.2 GPA today.
She did that.
She's probably listening in.
Yes.
Man, let me get a cookie. That's a lot of people listening in. Leon Fowler, he's in the building.
Leon.
Thanks for tuning in. We also got Cynthia Marsham. That's right.
Okay. I don't know.
I got a doctor and I got a legal person in. Y'all got it. Amanda Williams Smith is listening in with us as well.
Yes.
Welcome to the show. But I say that because I saw the article. I read it. And it said COVID, ACL, and the stresses of school is why.
Right.
The main three reasons why. My daughter, like you know, she had COVID, she tore her ACL, and she was struggling in school. Right. I'm just saying, and she's 19 years old, and she's a freshman, and she plays sports. Right. I'm just saying how don't think your kids don't have nothing to do with this. Right. Because some of these stresses of why these kids are doing this could be something going on in your own household. Right. So make sure you spending time and talking to your children. Amen.
And so there's also the Stanford soccer player who committed suicide. Brilliant young lady. Then there's also another young lady who was a student athlete as well and taught Pilates and her family was saying that her struggles were that she just felt like she had too much on her plate. And she put undue pressure on herself to say yes to everything instead of recognizing and realizing. So can you speak to that, Dr. Perdue, and talk about some of the things that maybe you've seen or know about, or how we can help these young people keep from taking their lives way too soon?
Well, you know what, we need more time, to be honest. And so, and maybe we need to choose a month where we talk about mental health for...
This is Mental Health Month, so we should have done this the whole thing.
And maybe it's a matter of multiple segments. But what I will say is this, particularly with our young people are so social media driven and savvy.
Yes.
When we were in school, we didn't have that.
Right.
So the idea of having certain likes and dislikes and somebody being able to bully you from afar, that wasn't an issue.
Nope.
Mainly, if somebody didn't like you, they approached you, you approached them, you handled it, you kept it moving.
Exactly.
And so there are so many outside stressors. And to get into college now, you have to do so many more things now than you used to have to do as far as social engagement, and you need to be involved in so many different activities. So to add on to that, with our youth, they've lost a lot of assimilation because of the fact of COVID. There was a lot of home schooling that was being done where you weren't assimilating. You weren't really learning how to deal with conflict with others because of the fact you were at home. Right. Now, your conflict was typically with your parents, but you could deal with So all of those play a huge role. My daughter, who is home now, went off to college, and she had a lot of struggles, and so we brought her home. And once we brought her home and girded her up, we ended up getting her some professional attention and trying to love on her as much as we possibly could, so that we can then move forward for her upcoming year. So it is a constant struggle, and we as parents at times put a lot of that extra struggle on our children by demanding, we want excellence. Right. But at the same time, you need to have a relationship with your child other than the fact of, you need to do X, Y, and Z to be successful.
Right.
Man, that is. And when I went home, I always go to the elders. That's the place I go. Let me find the old school people that got many more miles than I do on my little car. Right. So I asked a gentleman back at home. I won't say who because he's 90. And, and I find these people I get to go talk to. So I was talking to him, and I asked him, I said, what is going on with these kids? The same questions, because he's going to give me a different perspective at 90 years old. Did you see chickens and hogs and in the garden? That's a different perspective. Yep. And he said, watch this, young buck. Bag up. You know they call you a young buck. They about to do something. So I bagged up. He did the Toyota jump. You know how you jump and click your legs together? Now, that might not be impressive for some.
Right. At 90, that's impressive.
You are almost a Lamborghini.
Right.
But anyway, he said this, and I want to see Damali what you and Dr. Purdue say. He said, man, these kids are so much more wiser than we are. They are very wise. Beyond our years, they know so much more than we do. Right. He said, but they are so much weaker. Than we are. Right. They're wiser, but they're weaker.
Yeah, I agree.
And I'm going to leave it right there because I know we all kind of working. So the kids, they're a lot wiser, but they're weaker. Right. Can't deal with stuff. We did everything. This is my take on I'm putting my little take on that first and pass you the mic. I think because we did everything to keep them from going through what we went through.
Sure. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So we did that, that's what we're supposed to do. We parents, that's what we're supposed to do. But when he was talking about he was looking, he looked at me like, yeah, can you do Toyota jump? I said, no, I can't. I want to twist my ankle. He said, but the things that you probably have done, the kids get in your car now, you give them all their snacks, you give them their headphones, you give them their games, then you still ask them if they're comfortable. How can you not be comfortable? You got all your snacks, headphones on, your seat is comfortable, and you finna ride, and we still they ask, are you comfortable? And we used to maybe be in the house and the lights flickered and be like, is the lights been turned off? We're gonna be hot. So what you think about that wiser weaker thing? No,
I totally agree with that. I totally get that and feel like, we made it because of the struggle. You know what I mean? A lot of stuff that kids have today, we have as parents have provided for them under the guise of not letting them have to go through what we went through as children, right? Not that it was a bad situation, but you just want to improve the quality of life, for that next generation, not understanding that we really are creating a weaker generation. Because, I can remember out there cutting the grass, and I did the same thing that the boys had to do. You know what I'm saying? It was no different in boy or girl. Trash need to go out, you gonna take it if your brother's unavailable. Yard need to be cut, you gonna cut it if your brother's unavailable. Now, if I ask my daughter to go out there and pick up a blade of grass, she's like, oh, mommy, it's so hot, I can't. Yeah, it's about to take off.
And I'll say this about going outside is, when I was little, your arm better be broken, you better be bleeding to come back in the house. I'm telling you that now. And now I see this lunch, they come and say, the parents say, do you got a boo-boo? Let me kiss Instead of all that, Dr. Fairby, what's going on with the little boo-boos, man? You know what I'm talking about? Kids go.
Listen, you know what? You must have been a fly on the wall in my household. My wife and I have had that same conversation hundreds of times.
Yes.
And you're right. I was a latchkey kid. And so, my father owned his own business, but I saw him infrequently. My mother did domestic work. And my mother more or less told me, when I leave this house better be in the same shape when I came home. Now, I might have friends over, but I can tell you one thing, that house was in the same shape.
Okay.
Children today, they are afforded many, many more opportunities and many more devices and other, extraneous things that we didn't have. And so we had to find activities.
Be creative.
Tended to be physical activities.
Absolutely.
Kids that are more physically active tend to do better. The amount of childhood obesity now is at a record high because you have so many kids now that are playing video games and they're not going outside.
Right.
So I agree with that mindset, but this is where we are. And so when this is where you are, we have to find ways to edify and lift our children up. And sometimes that's a matter of giving them the perspective of the life that they're in. That, you know what? You don't have to have 1,000 likes for everything. You don't necessarily, you don't need the most recent iPhone or the most recent piece of jewelry or you know what, you don't need that. Now, if you want to go get a job and from the money that you make, pay for that, we can have a conversation.
Right.
Oh, that's like death, right?
I like that. I like that.
So, the American Academy of Pediatrics declared the mental health crisis among children and teens as a national emergency.
It is.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
It is.
A national emergency. What they're saying is more than 40% of teens persistently feel sad or hopeless in 2020. So this was a survey that the CDC did back in 2021, and they're saying 40% of kids feel sad and hopeless.
40.
I can't even. I don't even, as an adult, feel sad and hopeless. If a situation arises, I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to fix it and how I'm going to make it better.
Right.
But I don't get into the mindset.
But that's your generation. That's your generation.
That's the generation.
Because that's what we had to do.
Right.
You had issues. If like I said before, you had an issue with someone.
Yeah.
You figured out how to get through that situation.
Right.
And it wasn't a matter of, somebody in a whole nother state is bullying you.
Yeah.
Someone that you maybe have never met before. Or someone is bullying you from your school and you don't know who it is.
You don't even know who it is.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, like lastly, I told my daughter when we was talking about, that 40% of them being depressed and feeling lonely. And I told her, I said, I think when we were young, you rarely seen somebody down and out. Right. And I said, because here would be the result. I said, every morning, pretty much you hear knocks at the door and you see 4 or 5 friends out there. So it wouldn't matter how you was feeling in that moment. When you see friends that they come to play with you, instantly, whatever had you could just come fresh off a butt whipping because we would stay in touch. Fresh off the whipping. But when you see your friends, and I said, and we was better socially when we was younger because we would hug you when you need a hug. We didn't even have to talk when we was kids. And I was telling my daughter this, if I saw Molly, I could tell, I could hug her. Come on, you need something, you need a piece of candy or something. Right. It's like it was a natural thing, but like you say, being at home by yourself with video game playing with kids from all over the world, it builds something different in you that we're just kind of missing that. Go ahead.
Well, keep in mind too that how often have you seen 5 or 6 children sitting at a table and all of them are on their device?
Yep.
They're not
even talking to each other.
Or they're talking to each other through the device as opposed to looking up and speaking.
Right.
Social media has done a tremendous disservice to our children.
Absolutely.
And to us as adults. The number of people that are so fixated on their Facebook page that, I've got to let everybody know everything that I'm doing all the time. We're in a society where it seems to be, it's more predicated on others liking you as opposed to you having that inner feeling of comfort in where you are.
Yeah.
Man, let's get creative. We got a lot of more people that jumped on the live. So let's start with Mr. AJ. What did he say on his?
He says that a lot of it is pressure and stress on young people to perform. And they fear of disappointing parents, relatives, teams, and fans when they're having a lot of my thing went dark. When they're having a lot of success, causes a lot of mental health without ongoing support and encouraging them, and even when they start being unsuccessful in their sports. So I agree with that. I think that,
well, look at Simone Biles. So Simone Biles, is the GOAT when it comes to gymnastics.
Yes,
she's the GOAT.
Yes,
okay? And I was so proud of her, as well as Malika Sheffrin, who is an alpine skier, who is the GOAT in her respective field.
Right.
That they came out and they owned the fact that, they were having mental health issues. To we're all susceptible to it.
Sure.
I walk into a case and I need to be 100%. But if I've had a bad outcome with my last case, there's no way that you don't carry some of that into that next event. You have to compartmentalize it, learn what you can, and move forward.
Sure.
But I'm also 50 years of age. Right. When you're 18 or 16 or 20, and you have everyone looking at you, this is the hope. We're living vicariously through you.
Right.
It puts a tremendous amount of stress on our youth, and and sometimes they just have to step away. And again, what Simone Biles and what Malika Sheffrin did, I think was amazing. That they owned their emotions at that particular moment, and they gave us all. It gave us all enough information that moving forward, we can take that experience into how we handle our own business.
That is awesome that you brought that example up, because you have to get to a point that you think about you more than you think about what other people think of you.
Right.
And if you don't do that, then you're going to find yourself in trouble. But one of the things, what do you guys think about alcohol and drugs as it happens today as opposed to when we were coming up? Do you think it's more prevalent, or do you think that kids have more access? What do you guys think?
Well, I think with depression and anxiety and other psychological challenges being more prevalent now, I think that it's more prevalent that children are going to self-medicate.
Man.
Now, was it as prevalent as before in my era? I don't believe so.
Right.
But I wasn't one who ever drank. So I wasn't in an arena where that was done or condoned. I think, again, when you get back to this instantaneous gratification in the society of social media, you know what, and where's the next rave party, and where's this going on, and what are you doing, and did you do this or did I do that? There's almost an expectation sometimes in our youth that they have to do the next outside the box thing to be able to stay in the group. Yeah. And a lot of those values have to come from home. We have to ground our children in the fact that my children, I have this conversation with them all the time, and my wife will probably laugh about this, that if you're going to get in trouble, you better be the leader. Because if you're the leader, you're going to get in trouble once.
Right.
If you're following somebody, you're going to get in trouble twice. And I won't say exactly what that punishment is going to look like. Right. But it's a matter of edifying our children to stand on their own 2 feet. Sure. The decision that you make, there's no such thing as a decision that is unimportant. Whether you turn down a street that you shouldn't turn down, or whether it's going out to get a bottle of milk at 1:00 in the morning. Every decision is important.
Hey, let's take a quick break. I hear the music on because we can talk about this forever. This is the next show we have. We're going to get into just this for the whole show.
Absolutely.
Y'all agree with that?
Absolutely.
Quick shout out to a couple people. Miss Friend for tuning in with us. Shout out to Erica Brown tuning in with us. Jeanette Coulter tuning in with us. Jeremiah Blackwell, Maestro Siglo from Mississippi said, did y'all move? Ali Star Williams in the building with us. And Erica said, adults also who hasn't dealt with that in their youth or in their past. Deal with that as well. We're going to take a quick break because somebody was granted that development contract on Black Wall Street. Yes. But we're going to jump right into that next. This is news you can use right here on KBOB 89.9 FM and simulcast on the News You Can Use Network. Next up, Hot Topics.
Get ready for a night of R&B. Friday, June 3rd, the 36th Street North Event Center presents Surface.
Hey, Tulsa. My name is David Conley, and I'm John Fever. We are Service. 2 shows we're going to be doing one at 5 and one at 8. The R&B Live Series.
One night only at 36th Street North Event Center. Also performing live, the national recording artist and legendary R&B caller, Glenn Jones. I've been searching for so long. Glenn Jones live. We just begun. The romance is not over. We got a lot. Friday, June 3rd. One night, 2 shows. 5 p.m. and 8 p.m. But wait, it gets better. Also performing live. V-Rush. VIP, Ultra VIP, and tables are available. Get yours now online at 36ch-events.eventbrite.com.
Is a reintegration program designed to help those released from prison to fit back into the community as productive, valuable members of society. They help schedule various classes such as anger management, substance abuse, and mental health. They also work with different programs in the community to provide job training. If you or someone you know needs help with resources in career development, employment, or housing, to find out more information, call 918-592-3500 or stop by 2121 North Harvard Avenue, Monday through Thursday from 9
The
a.m.
36th Street North Event Center is a full-scale event center where we share the experiences of the community. At the event center, you can rent space for weddings, birthday parties, receptions, concerts, Greek events, quinceañeras, and much more. We also do custom decor, linen, and centerpieces. We're located at 1125 East 36th Street North. To book your next special event, business gathering, or community event, call us at 918-200-9046.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The all new KBOB 89.9 FM, Black on Black Community Radio.
And now it's time for the Hump Day Hot Topics with Charles and Damali.
hey, guess what day it is?
Hump Day!
Hump day! It's Hump day!
Hey, Mike.
It's the Hump Day Hot Topics on Lose You Can Lose.
Hey, we back up in the echo world. How y'all doing out there? Thanks for all of our people that's tuning in from all over the world. We appreciate it. Just seeing my boy Big Snuggles.
I'm adjusting.
He's adjusting. Big Snuggles.
It don't sound like my mic is on. Oh, there we go.
Turn our
I
mic
got some
back
sound. Hey.
Good, Damali, she said, turn me back up.
I'm adjusting.
See, that's when you
So I'm
go, turn me
adjusting.
back up 10. You know how the real singers, when they real elegant, they like, turn my mic up. I be like, you almost to blow the building down. They still turn the mic up. Anyway, that's Damali now.
Stop
Yeah,
it.
I want to shout out Big Snuggles, Mario Johnson, tuning in from
Hey.
the ATL. He said June 3rd, that concert will be epic. Y'all better be in the building. That's what he said on the live.
Okay.
He's out of Little Rock, Arkansas. Damali.
Yes.
Let's jump into these Hump Day Hot Topics.
Hump Day Hot Topic number 1. The Evans Spin Tube developer has been finally chosen by the city of Tulsa.
Get all they did.
Can we get a drum roll, please? Okay. So the city has selected Be Good Development Partners and J.E. Dunn to develop the southern half of the land over at Evans Spin Tube.
Now, who is Be Good?
So Be Good will be Franchel Abdullah.
Amen.
You know, so that's the one.
Franchel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the one with the 42-story building. That's part of the plan.
Is that the same lady who is going to take the original structure and rebuild it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's save some money on that then.
Absolutely. Save a little bit of money, we'll see. But this is so exciting because, she has ties to Tulsa, ties to Oklahoma. Her family was actually, I believe they were out of Muskogee.
Right.
Am I correct? Muskogee. And so, I'm just excited that somebody locally
Hey, that building is
actually
going to be
getting-
fresh.
Man.
Charles was telling me about it yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'll say this because I think it's good coming on the heels of us, going through the centennial of the massacre, that 1 year anniversary of the 1921 race massacre, and everybody's like, what in the world is going to be next?
Right.
So now 101 years later, we have basically a development led by African American sister. You know what I'm saying? To me, I look at that like that's history.
It is.
You went to some of the local engagement meetings.
Yep.
You saw her present. You seen some of the others. What do you think about it?
I was so incredibly impressed with how thoughtful their plan was. I love the fact that I saw so many faces of color. That is an area and a community that needs to have ownership of what we do. I love the fact that they heard what we wanted, and it wasn't a matter of kind of talking over us and telling us what we need, which that's the way I felt with some others. So I'm incredibly excited, and I think that we as a community should not only support the project, but we as in the community should also be looking at what things can we possibly do in that area as well as satellite areas to pool our monies, pool our resources so that we can build up North Tulsa. We can build up North Tulsa.
Absolutely. So if you guys have not heard about this project, so it's over at Evans Fin Tube, it's 22 acres that's going to be redeveloped. The property is just north of downtown. And the first step, or I should say, let's talk about what it's going to look like. So they're proposing to do a 42-story skyscraper with more than 40 floors, and it's going to be the first one in Tulsa since the Cityplex Tower, which was built in 1979.
Right. Now, hold on, because I got to add in.
Yes.
That this is going to be the largest structure in Tulsa.
Yes.
And it's going to be facing North Tulsa.
Yes. Yes. So this space is going to have retail, it's going to have dining. They're talking about having a brewery with a maker space and a studio space. It's going to have co-working space. So it's going to have it all. So I'm just super excited that, first of all, someone has been picked for that project, right? Because it seems like it's been like forever that this process has been going on. But not only that it is someone who is very connected and an organization that actually listened to what community said.
Absolutely.
That's what matters.
Right. Yeah.
Because so many
Because
times the people felt like they've been promised so much and always been let down.
Yeah.
Whether it was from the city or from the black community leaders.
Right.
Now they're seeing some results based off their current input into the situation because we've been there with the people in the trenches to see them bring their ideas to the table.
Absolutely.
Let me add this to Molly. I just want to give a huge shout out to World One Development.
Yes.
For heading up the local engagement. And I want to shout out Greg Robinson with Standpipe Here Strategy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I want to shout out the committee because this had to go before. So shout out to the leadership committee. And I just want to say thank you first and foremost, and at the top of my list is to the North Tulsa community.
Yes.
Showing up in droves.
Yes.
Every time.
Every time. And now when we say your voice matters, this is the results of your voice mattering. And Dr. Fredu, man, I got chills on me just thinking about it because we heard how he was talking in that meeting. He was there and he was strong and they were forced for what we don't want and what we want. So let me ask you this, Damali. So do you feel like they got it right?
I do. I really do. Jeremiah, don't do that. Jeremiah said we'll be able to withstand tornadoes. Don't do that. Don't do us.
I do want to do a shout out to all the other developers that submitted their plans.
Yes,
everybody had great ideas.
Right.
But I think what a lot of people, where they put their foot down was they didn't want to see any more sports complexes or athletic activities coming to Greenwood without doing something for the community first. So this is perfect.
Yeah.
I already got the BMX part right there.
Yeah.
And you know what, Damali? In all fairness, I got to shout out Old Cayenne and I got to shout out Wyatt.
Man, because they stood there in the fire, baby.
And they got harder. It don't get harder than 36th Street North in Peoria at the 36th Street North Event Center.
when you're talking about something that the community don't want.
Yeah, and you have a history of all of this. So I have to give them some credit to run that ball all the way through, because you always feel like it's some trickery, Dr. Fairdew. But you know, they broke that news. So if you have not seen it, go to the Tulsa World. It's Google it. Read about it, because this is just phase one. Now they're getting ready to start picking developers. So where are all my developers at now?
Okay. We've been telling y'all to get ready.
Can you invest? Can you invest into this? If you're a private investor,
You can invest in it. You can be part of the development. You can be part of the ownership. They're doing a land trust that you can put in stuff to further that. So stay tuned. Stay tuned.
We've been telling y'all to get ready.
get your checkbook out.
I know some people like that. Throwing paper like, yeah, this is get ready. And I'm like, Richard, go get your drawings. Yes. No Tulsa and all of Tulsa, because it's still about all of us.
Yes.
This is going to make all of Tulsa better.
Right.
But we all can say that North Tulsa needed this, y'all.
AJ is saying that we're getting a lot of echo and feedback on the sound.
That's me talking too loud. My bad. I done brought it down.
Hey guys, we apologize for anything technical that's happening, but we're looking back some audio because we go to like 17 different destinations.
Yeah.
And one of those things is out of control. Sometimes you hear the echo, sometimes you don't. Okay? We know about the echo. Thanks again.
We trying to get it right.
Let's just understand, he just said something, like we had 17 different points all around the world. So this is not us just talking here in North Tulsa, but this is encouraging to people all around the world.
Right.
Communities of color, there's a lot of people dealing with this.
Right.
So this success is all of us.
A lot of people follow all the community engagement stuff you guys do, because you are so influential when it comes to that, and you guys apparently get it right, and you don't violate the public's expectations.
No,
All right, so Dr. Fairdew, now we're gonna need you to come in and help us with the hospital and some of that stuff.
Yeah,
like
gotta
you
get
said,
it done.
we gotta get that life expectancy.
Minor emergency. Yes.
Minor emergency, urgent care.
Something. We need it.
It's going to be a hub for North Tulsa, but it's going to be a hub. I think it can be a hub, a regional hub for the surrounding states.
Oh, wow.
And so, this is the first step of many steps. Again, I think that we as a community need to be looking at what things do we want and how we want to expand outside of that immediate area, so that North Tulsa and South Tulsa can look each other eye to eye.
Exactly. And people understand that, yes, this did just happen. Don't think that a structure is going to be built tomorrow. Okay. Want to make sure we're clear about that. It's going to be another, a process in order to pick individuals to do the development. The dirt's got to be moved, and the site's got to be cleaned up, and there's just a lot of things, prep work that's going to have to take place before you will start seeing any structures. So just know that work is being done. You just won't see it right away.
But if you keep moving forward as planned, you can see dirt turning in 2023.
Yes.
We're not talking about like 2043. So 2023
Right.
is next year. We'll see dirt turning. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Anyway, we can see that. We got to switch gears.
Okay, guys, have you heard about this manhunt that was going on over in Alabama? We got a guard who actually busted out her prisoner, and they were on a hiatus for I don't know how long, just out for about a couple of weeks.
I'm glad.
Just driving all
Bishop
around.
Cooper, he's on the live. Bishop, you listening? Because we got people
Right. Well, but breaking news came out that they actually caught them on yesterday.
Right.
And that the guard, she actually shot herself.
Unfortunately.
And she died. And part of it they were saying was because, of the shame. But in my mind, I'm like, okay, did you not think that they were not going to come looking for you? Like, I'm confused.
That's so unfortunate. So I'm just going to say prayers, because I'm sure that was a nice young lady that had a family and all of that. And she was doing something nobody thought she would ever do.
Absolutely, because when I read the article, it said that she had a stellar career, had never been in trouble for anything. She had just recently retired. So people were, I'm like, it put me back into the mind of the mental health situation.
Right.
I don't know if that was her issue or not, but that's what it put me in the mind of, like, why would you risk it all?
Right.
For something that would end up, this is really what we thought it would end up being. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But anyway, so prayers for that family, because, whatever her reasoning for it was, that was still somebody's sister, somebody's niece, somebody's daughter. So, she had some family members out there that cared about her and, were concerned about her. So prayers for that family.
And the guy's captured him back in prison.
Yes. Yeah. He was
speaking of crime, I don't know if y'all heard about the story. Tulsa police shot somebody else, I believe yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Seemed like I saw
a man was trying to attack his family with a sword.
Oh.
And they had to go in the house and shoot the man, but he lived.
Yeah.
He lived.
Oh,
yes,
wow.
he lived.
Well, we'll get that story and we'll post that on
that's crazy. I'm telling you, mental health is real.
We've already said with Dr. Fredu.
Yeah.
And our next, we just going to talk about these kind of things.
Yeah.
Just try to get our mental health back. Because there's a lot going on. So
our last hot topic is the Double Up Oklahoma program. I'm so excited about this. I don't know what to say. We actually participated last weekend in the grand opening, or the re-grand opening, I would say, of Oasis, and they introduced the Double Up program.
It was actually the 1 year kickoff of the month-long anniversary of the 1 year and the launch of the Double Up program.
Right. So what Double Up Oklahoma does is it increases access to fresh foods for low-income and food-insecure Oklahomans by matching SNAP dollars spent up to $20 per day towards the purchase of fresh fruits and vegetables at participating farmers markets and grocery stores.
Wow.
And it just so happens that Oasis is the only grocery store.
Only.
The only.
Exclusive.
Exactly. Right?
He's going
right?
Exuberant. He's going up more and more. Dr. Fredu, when you see something like Double Up, because it allows people to go in and double up on their money for fresh produce and all of that good stuff. So to me, that equates straight to health, health and stuff.
Yes.
But what do you think about that when you've been to Oasis, AJ, so to launch something like that, 1 year, during that 1 year anniversary, how you feel about that?
You know what? It warms my heart. When you have limited access and you have limited resources, your health is going to fail. So this gives opportunity for us as a community to improve health. What I would love to do, and I've had conversations with AJ about this, I would like for those of us that have been truly blessed by God, whether it be through finance or through influence, that we figure out ways of making contribution into institutions like Oasis, so that others, whenever somebody comes in, there's never a situation where there is you don't have enough to feed your family. And that's a pledge my wife and I have made. That's a pledge that I would hope that others would make, so that there is a coffer of dollars and resources for that community. And maybe that leads to a second, third, fourth, and fifth grocery store being built in Tulsa.
Absolutely. There's a lot of layers to what you just said, but that's the heart and the spirit of what we have to have. And I know it's a lot of people doing that, and we appreciate that with private dollars, but continue to support and go out to Oasis. Shout out to my boy DJ Lion.
Yes,
that
he did that.
For JB.
Yeah.
Dr. Fred, I'm glad you in there. You've been doing electric slides.
Man, it was on.
The brother did an amazing job. Shout out to AJ. Shout out to all of the partners and the vendors and everybody that came out. Gave away $1,000.
That's a beautiful thing.
It rained money. Yeah. It rained $1,000.
It did. Yes.
So I was excited to see so many families and different people, the kids. Everybody was eating scoops, ice cream. People was paying bills and their utilities.
So I missed it again.
And you missed it.
So ice cream.
We was
eating
They had the chef was in the building making fresh hot food right there on the spot.
I missed the whole thing. You missed
the whole thing.
Man, you was trying to work on the truck.
Trying to make things happen. Shout out to, and I'll say this because it was a big part of it was the 1 year anniversary of Oasis Fresh Market. Shout out to Rose Washington. Mm-hmm. Shout out to City Councilwoman Vanessa Hall Harper, who was there, and she spoke. Senator Matthews, he was there as well. A lot of the board members, the Kaiser Foundation was there. The people were there.
Right.
And they didn't want to leave. Right. I told DJ Lion, you got to play something else. I don't know.
All that.
Nobody want to leave.
Yeah.
So shout out to AJ's team. Shout out to the community and everybody. It was a wonderful Saturday.
Yeah.
Congratulations on 1 year.
You gotta say this too. A lot of people say people in Tulsa don't support anything unless it benefits them. So let's just change that. Keep changing that narrative, and let's have another year with Oasis there. because they won't be there without your support.
That's right.
The community, thank you for your support that you've given. Now let's double that support up that you've been giving, and let's keep them there for years to come. So North Tulsa don't have to be without a grocery store anymore because, you know.
And I say last but not least, shout out to KBOB.
Yeah.
Because we rolled into 2022, we did 3 pop-ups. Boom, boom, boom.
And the mothership was in the
mothership in the corner. You know, so to have a real community radio station, because music get people going. Right. And sometimes music make you lose control. We don't lose control. That's the point. Right. Thanks to Bobby and his team for being willing to do that. Right. And we're going to keep that momentum going. We got some upcoming events. I know because we.
Right. So upcoming events. World One Development is still looking for volunteers to help serve the community. If you would like to volunteer or need community service hours, you can give us a call at 918-380-1493 or email me at damali.wilson@world1development.com, or you can inbox us on Facebook Messenger at World One Development. And I got some big news. We are actually this volunteer portal is going to be popping, and it's going to be on and online coming this weekend.
All right. And we really need some of our volunteers because it's too hot. We got to rotate. You know, black people get too hot. Black people can't stay outside for 30 minutes. So
that's why you need your water.
Right.
We need y'all now.
Some Snoop ice cream. That's what it is.
So y'all please sign up.
Exactly. Don't forget, if you're looking to have an event, the 36th Street North Event Center has dates available. You can give us a call at 918-200-9046 to reserve your spot.
Yes.
Fitting Back In is still taking registrations for justice-involved individuals, past or present, Tulsa County only, for job training and programs that will yield living wage jobs. Classes have already started, but it's not too late to sign up. You can contact Christy Williams at Christy, KRISTI.Williams@fittingbacktulsa.org, or you can give us a call at 918-592-3500 to sign up. We're here to help justice-involved citizens thrive.
Absolutely. Mr. Elvis Stewart, Captain Blue, tuning in from Arkansas. What's up, man?
All right. Hey, what's up? Prayer Time Grief Counseling. Pastors Chloe and Doug Allen. They're available every Sunday at 7 o'clock p.m. You can give them a call at 717-275-8940. And don't forget to put in the code 615876. You don't have to suffer in silence when help is available.
Right.
Don't forget, Oasis Fresh Market is open Monday through Saturday from 7 o'clock a.m. until 10 o'clock p.m. and Sundays from 8 o'clock a.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. Housing assistance is available Monday through Friday. Again, that's Monday through Friday, so don't go up there on Saturday.
Look, these people done gave away over $7 million.
Right.
They over there paying bills. Gonna be sitting up in your house talking about my landlord gonna kick me out. Get your letter, get your bills, get over to Oasis.
Exactly. And they're taking those from 8:30 a.m. until 5 o'clock p.m.
Yes.
Okay, so that's Monday through Friday. Hey, guys, we are wrapping up our 20... Oh, is it bothering? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, he scared me. I was like, what? What did I do? Am I going to the principal's office?
I thought he said, get your head on my pocket.
What? Okay, guys, we're wrapping up our 2021-2022 school year, and Tulsa Tech is going to be offering free haircuts tomorrow at Edgerec at 5424 North Madison Avenue from 4:30 p.m. until 6 p.m., right?
Now, say that again. Now, y'all know haircuts. I don't know how much your haircut costs, but they're running about $50. Right. So, come to Edgerec tomorrow and get ready for the summer with a free haircut. So just come out there. What's the address again, Damali?
5424 North Madison Avenue.
And you can hit that booty. You see Dr. Frederick Benson, he got here together.
And you can have a fade like Dr. Charles.
All right.
See that?
Right.
Come on.
And tonight, the Greenwood Main Street Carnival is getting kicked off right down on Greenwood at 733 North Greenwood Avenue. It's going to go from tonight through the 14th. What's the 14th? Saturday. So from tonight until Saturday, it's $1 to get in. They're only taking cash, so don't come down there with no cards because they don't have no way to take your card. You got to have $1.
I'm going to take out an ATM machine.
Bring your dollar. No. Now, I did see that. No, they do have an ATM machine.
We have an ATM machine.
To get $1?
No.
To put money out.
Put money out.
If I couldn't get $1 out of ATM, We gonna talk about
So it cost you $10 to get that $1 out, right?
It's $2 to get it, and you gonna get $1.
Yeah, they do have an ATM. Yeah. They would have an ATM on site.
So they actually have an armband special, which is $30.
That's a good
and
deal.
that's going to get you to where you can ride all the rides that are actually going to be there. They're going to have rides, games, food, and fun. So that's tonight, the Greenwood Main Street Carnival, happening through Saturday. So you guys go on out to 733 North Greenwood and have yourself a great time.
So it's like the fair?
It's a carnival.
So there's a lot of things going on Greenwood this weekend.
Fair is big.
There's a lot going on downtown.
Shout out, period. Yeah, shout out to the Main Street board for putting this on.
Because you're on that board.
See, I wasn't going to tell nobody that.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to tell nobody that. Shout out to the Main Street board for keeping stuff for the family to do. See that? Now they're going to think I got it back.
So y'all brought a little mini fair to town.
A little mini fair.
Yeah, Greenwood. So everybody show up, share this video, share this information.
Now, where exactly is it taking place? I see it's
733 North Greenwood.
So that's right there at the Roberts Park.
Yeah, B.S. Roberts Park.
In the parking lot over OETA?
Yep.
North of that.
North, yeah. So it's kind of OSU, yeah.
OSU parking lot?
OSU's Tulsa parking lot, right? Just across from OSU College campus. It's right there. That park.
Yeah. Come to Greenwood. You can't miss it.
Yeah, just go. You see it right?
No, guys.
Right.
There's a lot of things going on Greenwood this weekend. The Black Wall Street Bike Rally is happening on one part of Greenwood, and then you got the carnival. Then you got some at the baseball field.
Hold up. We got to go through the upcoming events.
Speaking of what's going on in Greenwood, I mean, you got to clarify what you want to double up with.
Right. Okay, the Kirkpatrick Heights Virtual Community Design Workshop.
Yes.
Okay, now this is another opportunity. You know, we talk about the community development projects. We just talked about Evans FinTube.
Right.
So Kirkpatrick Heights is another one of those, and they're actually doing a virtual community design workshop tomorrow from 6 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. You can go to bit.ly/virtual design workshop in order to participate in that particular event. So you guys, we really need your support. We need your help, because this is another project that we are wanting community to have your say in what you want to see and what you want to see happen in that space.
And Molly came up with that because she said, and they got above 90 degrees. People don't want to come out, so get a bottle of water and be at home. You don't have to
with your feet kicked up, with your fan on.
Click in, come into the Zoom, and let people know what you want to see. Because Kirkpatrick 56 acres.
Right.
So,
I want to see the steps to nowhere it leads to somewhere.
I agree.
Hey, I like that. That's pretty cool. You took a long time to think about that, didn't you? All right, now, so this is something that when you guys come out to these events, you learn something new every day. So this is something that I did not know, and I wanted to share. The American Red Cross is going to be installing 50,000 free smoke alarms nationwide, with nearly 450 right here in Tulsa.
Wow.
So on May 14th, they're going to be doing this. So to sign up for a free smoke alarm installation, go to rdcrss.org and put in the code 3KYYLFT. And I'll post this on our social media so that you guys can go and pull it off, because I know you're probably not going to be able to remember it. But I just thought that was amazing that they're actually going to be installing those alarms. You know what? That's crazy.
I bet you Rodney Brew got something to do with that.
You probably do.
He got that fire marshal. You know, he kind of swole and tall. I guarantee you, he went to somebody's store. 50,000.
Yes.
Let me playing the music. I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm just saying, I think he got something to do with it.
Right. All right. EduRec is signing youth up for its Unplugged Summer Camp, which begins June 6th through 30th. It's going to be from 9 a.m. until 4 o'clock p.m. The rate is $60 per child. Before care is $5 per day per child. So you can sign up at EduRec Tulsa. I am not sure if the first 25 people have been signed up, but the first 25 kids that are signed up, they're going to be their fee is going to be half price. It's going to be half
for the whole summer camp. That's $30.
Yes.
I'm sweating thinking about it. I'm like, how much? Look, y'all, I don't even know. I think it's like 10 more slots left.
Yeah.
But the first 25 to sign up, you're going to get 50% off every week. So you paying $30
right
to have your kid at a spot from 9 to 4.
Right.
That's breakfast, that's lunch, that's education, that's everything.
Yep.
Y'all better call. I'm going to take all them spots. I might have some more kids. No, let me not say that.
No, don't do that. Don't torture yourself like that. All right. All right. Tyson Speaks is offering a free self-care event, which is to talk about life improvement practices for everyone. This is going to happen on Monday, May 16th, 2022 at 9:00 a.m. at OSU. So this information is also going to be contained on our Facebook page, and there's a link that you can go to in order to sign up. But let's go out and support Tyson Thompson. He does a really great job.
Shout out to Tyson.
Great mentorship programs that he offers. So, you guys need to go out and support him. Let's see. The R&B Live concert series is going to be happening featuring Glenn Jones and Surface. Everybody got their tickets? Dr. Furter, you got your tickets?
I'm going to get some tickets.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. Look, put them on the spot right now.
I know. I've already been instructed. I need a table.
Okay, right. Get that table.
So after this table, you're going to get another table.
Right.
Oh, we going to have fun.
Yes.
Oh, we going to have fun.
Yes.
Trust and believe.
This event is going to take place on Friday, June 3rd. There's going to be 2 shows, one starting at 6:00 p.m. and the other starting at 9:00 p.m. They have ultra VIP tables available, which is what Dr. Furter was going to get for $300. That's going to seat 6. They also have VIP chairs available, which are $30 each, and then general admission seats, which are $20 each. You can purchase your tickets at Eventbrite. It's a whole big long thing, but let's just say look for R&B Live Concert Series, and you'll get the right location.
And go to the 36th Street North Event Center Facebook page. It's just like that, 36th Street North Event Center, because we'll be loading
the website. It's on the website as well.
Okay, awesome.
On the website.
36theventcenter.com.
Perfect. The Expungement Expo, which is going to be happening, we have confirmed it is going to happen on June 25th. It's going to go from 10:00 a.m. until 2:00 p.m. at the 36th Street North Event Center, which is located at 1125 East 36th Street North. The pre-registration link is now up.
And live.
Is that the one where you turn your guns in and your drugs?
No.
That's the Expungement Expo?
No. Expungement Expo is where you come and get your record cleared.
Oh.
For those people who have actually completed all of their, whatever they were, had to do for their...
Sorry, I don't have a record, so I don't know. I didn't know what an expungement was.
Let me say, now I'll say this. We did our first Expungement Expo in 2019. 3,000 people showed up.
Yes, it was crazy.
Folks might not trust going downtown, but they'll trust a location in that community where you start doing something good. So we've expunged over 400 people records. So y'all that had, it was called, what's it called, a roach or a joint back in the day in your ashtray in college, and got some kind of charge, and now you can't get a house, you can't get a job, all the over little stuff, and it ends up costing $10,000 to try to get it clear. So now you just only mowing lawns and washing cars because you can't get that job. Come get back in the game.
Exactly.
I'm out there between 10 and 2. Sign up early on the registration form, and let's get that off your record.
And so just remember this, that the expungement is for offenses that occurred in Tulsa County only. It's not for any other county. It's a free event, and it's just designed to help those who face barriers, improving their quality of life due to having a criminal record.
And I'll add this last thing to that, Damali. Every time we do an expungement, we did the first one, $3.6 million worth of services for free.
Yeah.
You're talking about like 30 to 40 attorneys. You're talking about the county clerk office. You're talking about the whole. So basically, the event center is going to be the courthouse.
Right.
So you can go from the beginning to the end of the whole thing.
Wow. Yes.
So if you got some cousins that keep staying in trouble and borrowing money from you, and we love them all, tell them to come out there to get that job.
There's judges there.
Awesome. Wow. DA be there talking to people. Now some see the DA and run, but everybody, nobody's getting arrested.
It's a safe space.
It's a safe space.
Yes.
Safe place.
Yes.
Safe space.
All right, birthdays. We want to give a huge shout out. Today is Miss Sharice Brown's birthday. That's Ramal Brown's wife. Today's her birthday. And Teresa Griffin. Okay. May 12th, which is tomorrow, my nail lady, Kim Bowie. It's her birthday, as well as Jeff Richardson.
You said her name is Bowie?
Bowie, yeah, she's Ada Bowie.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Right. And then May 15th, Pastor Tommy Todd, it's his birthday.
Tommy Todd?
Yes.
Happy birthday to my brother.
May 16th is Miss Kim Hamilton, one of our loyal listeners.
What's going on, Kim? Happy birthday to you.
You left a birthday out here.
Your birthday is not until the 31st.
Birthday out here.
You are at the end of the month. You can't be on her every week.
I need to be on there.
I couldn't. Yeah, my niece Tootie birthday is May 16th, and my brother's birthday is May 18th.
Okay,
Quick
they're
shout
in there. Yeah.
Shout out to them.
All right, fam. All right, so don't forget, you can purchase your News You Can Use gear and continue the conversation on our podcast at www.newsyoucanuse.tv. And don't forget to check out nycu.fm. We got some great music on there.
We'll be going down 24/7.
24/7.
Dr. Perdue, tell the people your last words. What's going on?
Last words, look, first and foremost, give God all the glory, all the thanks,
Yes.
because we are nothing without him. Second thing is love your children. Let them know that love is unconditional no matter how well you do in school or how well you do athletically.
Yes.
And third thing is know not only your mental health, but your physical health in regards to hypertension. Drink more water, eat fresher foods, and get up and move. 70% of your body's made up of water.
Now, Doc, I got a question I got to ask you.
Uh-oh.
If I got a woman that's stressing me out, I'm trying to figure out how to get past the stress, what do I do? Woo!
That's not a question, that's a show.
Yeah, that's a show. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna defer to my beautiful wife. And I'll have to spot that next.
I don't have that problem. It was a trick question.
He wasn't gonna let you get him in the trick bag. Not at all.
And look, Jody said careful. And every time I want to say careful twice, I don't really know what that means. But anyway, I want to say, hey, once again, thanks for everybody for tuning in. We got to get ready to get out here. Thanks for rocking with us during our little technical difficulties. We appreciate the love.
Yes.
Thank you for Rodney Roots is there with the love.
Yes.
Sitting here with us for a little bit. Uncle Bobby's in the building.
Yes.
Everything's online. Dr. Perdue, thanks again.
Appreciate you.
We love you, man.
Love is mutual, baby.
For looking out for us, man. Our first responder to come and do the medical report. Damali?
Yes.
You all right? We're about to get ready to get out of here.
Yeah, so remember, if you guys want to reach us, you can reach us on any of our social media platforms. That is World One Development, the 36th Street North Event Center, EduRec, Youth and Family Fund Center, and Fitting Back In, Prison Reintegration Program.
Absolutely. So make sure you always lock in with us. JB's, that's it for you.
NYCU.FM and NewsYouCanUse.tv.
All right. And one more time tonight, the carnival is going down starting at what time?
I forgot.
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
I was trying to see if you were sleeping.
No, I was sleeping. I'm sorry.
She was sleeping. We have upgraded the radio station. If you want to help us stay on the air, please consider donating to E-Media Services. To help our community radio continue to stay on the air, you can send your donation made payable to E-Media Service. That new location is 1216 North Lansing Avenue, Suite D. When you got a suite, you're coming up, baby. Tulsa, Oklahoma, 74106. This has been News You Can Use. Your boy Charles Hopper, that's me.
And Damali Wilson, that's me.
And we live every Wednesday, so make sure you tune in.
If you would like to promote or advertise